glory, we ain't no lover. Pushing the limits, we're breaking the chains. In the heat of the moment, we run through the flames. Yeah, we're rolling through the night. Every corner, every fight. Speed's our religion, Le Mans our shrine. GT3s, it's our time to shine. We're crushing the game, Le Mans in our sights. Remember our name, GT3s. We rise from the start, we're taking the win. We're making our mark. Le Mans breakdown, hear the tires scream. We're racing for glory, chasing that dream. In GT3, we're burning up the track. No looking back, we're never turning back. Le Mans breakdown, let's hear the roar. GT3s, who could want more? Pedal to the metal, we take the fight. Le Mans, baby, we own the night. Yo, GT3, we own that track. Le Mans, baby, there's no looking back. Le Mans breakdown, we rise to the top. In GT3, we can't be stopped. Yeah, we can't be stopped. Yo, it's race day, get ready to go. GT3's on the track, let's put on a show. Core, baby, we're hitting the gas. Pedal to the floor, don't look back, don't crash. Lights out, engine scream, we're rolling. GT3's got the power, we're holding. Lap after lap, feeling the heat. Hold tight, no time for defeat. On the straights, the speed is insane. Chasing down the rivals, we own this game. Through the chicanes, we're taking those turns. One slip, one crash, and you crash and burn. Turn the wheel, feel the G-force snap. In the zone, no time for a nap. Racing hard, we never slow down. GT3s win the showdown. Core, baby, hear the tires scream. We're racing for glory, chasing that dream. In GT3, we're burning up the track. No looking back, we're never turning back. Core, baby, let's hear the roar. GT3s, who could want more? Pedal to the metal, we take the fight. Core, baby, we own the night. Midnight headlights pierce the dark. We're locked in the fight, ready to spark. A lap of legends, every second's a test. Pushing hard to put the car to the test. Faster, faster, no time to waste. Grip the wheel, can't lose the race. In the rear view, I see the pack, but I'm ahead, and there's no looking back. Turn the wheel, feel the G-force snap. In the zone, no time for a nap. Racing hard, we never slow down. GT3s win the showdown. Core, baby, hear the tires scream. We're racing for glory, chasing that dream. In GT3, we're burning up the track. No looking back, we're never turning back. Le Mans breakdown, let's hear the roar. GT3s, who could want more? Pedal to the metal, we take the fight. Le Mans, baby, we own the night. Oh yeah. The roar of the engine, the burn of the rubber, chasing the glory.
Welcome everyone tonight to the Core. Oh, there we go. Season 11. This is round 10. This is the final one. Sorry, this is a rebroadcast, so SDK will have a few little issues that we're going to have to deal with as we go along here tonight. But work ran along the other night, and I was in no condition to do the broadcast then, so a couple days later, but here we go. So the guys are currently in practice, and I'm going to try to figure out, let's see, how I can do this. We're going to just, boom. Fast forward into qualifying. We can do that right there. And we will hop off of our race info here and go into TV1. And that's Ricky Renner doing his first lap here with a 1:49.049. So, yep, that is going to be qualifying. Let's see here. Who else do we have? Nick Nickerson back here tonight. And, ooh, more green GFR paint job there on that Porsche. So, yep, looks like this is doing good. Game capture is not picking anything up, really. There we go. That's a little better, I think. Let's do an onboard here real quick and get some of our levels done. Apparently it's not the same. The gyro's a little loud, but that's about where... maybe right about there. That way you should be able to hear our voices. Alright. Kinda swap over to this. There you go. Kind of get Nick's perspective here on some of these first corners. You can see it's definitely a track where you're trying to use all of the track limits here. There's Nick into... there we go. I'm going to try this button and see if this does what I think it does. This should fast forward us into the next session. Yes, this is going to be a race, so we can get our grid up here real quick. Looks like Ricky Renner taking pole here tonight at the 1:49.049. Mason Smith with about 2/10 back there in second. Nick Nickerson 3/10 back in third. Herbert Pineda about a half a second back there in fourth. Nathan Sides will start in fifth. Jack Peterson in sixth. Alan Gullison, nice showing there in seventh for a silver driver. Braden Carlson in eighth. And then let's see, what do we have here? Yep. This will be Josh Betts starting in ninth. Josh Anderson in 10th. Nick Terrell in 11th. Bronson Stafford in 12th. James Molyneux in 13th. 14th will be Alex Jaspers. 15th, Robert Kinney. 16th will be William Burrell. Dane Simpson starting back in 17th there. 18th will be Matthew Rodriguez. 19th will be John Crane. And 20th will be William Harvin. As we have our grid there. Let's pull up our little race thing here. All right. Let's see. If James is watching, yeah, the McLaren might be a little snappy now. So this will be the first race for Core on the new GT tires that were just released last Tuesday. So I did a few laps around here in the McLaren. To me, it feels a lot better, a lot more what I would call realistic. The excuse me a second. I feel like the tires now, they come in a little slower. They have a little bit lower starting temperature. So the first lap out of the pits into turn one, the McLaren had a little extra rotation than more than I expected. So these guys luckily will have a full pace lap here to get some heat into these tires. So definitely something to keep an eye on. And it looks like Mason Smith is going to be in Rexy here tonight. The green AO Racing livery there. A couple of gold teeth on that particular Rexy there. So I believe they're doing a gold tooth every time that car wins. And you know, I'd love to see the Rexy with a full gold grill. But going forward here, let's see what all we have. Looking back through here. So I purposely didn't keep an eye on who's won what for the points. So most of the guys here already know the finish, and so I'm going to be surprised. So if I say dumb things that are obvious to those of you who might have already seen this season there. Oh, Alan Gillison running the Top Gear livery there. I could see Clarkson yelling power on the side. So we'll enjoy that one there. It probably says ambitious but rubbish somewhere on that car as well. So good to see that. And then Josh Anderson in our series sponsor here with the Chase decals. And the McLaren this time. Good looking paint job on that one there, Josh. Let's see. James Molyneux going to be in the Acura as per normal, although from what I understand, that may not continue here. Looks like the track is was dry, but those are definitely raindrops I'm currently seeing in the camera there. So, but they're not now. Track appears dry. That's going to be interesting. That is one of the things that SDK is not telling me yet is... let me see. Show the weather. I don't happen to get a track wetness level here. Nor do I get what everyone is running on compound-wise. But that's looking like a bone dry track. So maybe just a little bit of craziness here out of iRacing. But those are definitely some raindrops I was seeing there earlier. I'm not seeing any spray off the car, so these guys are going a little on the slow side during this pace lap here. But if it is going to be getting a few drops of rain here and there, they're going to want every bit of temperature in the tires they can get. So, at the chance of risking, we're going to take a little quick peek here at the weather and try to see what's going on. It says 100% chance now, going down to 30s, 50. So, definitely a possibility of having some rain. Although if we do this again, we hit Control 4. Okay, so there's your radar. Yep, definitely have some rain. Maybe not a ton, but it is headed towards the track. That is something SDK needs to hurry up and get on their radar of things, is a weather radar. So, as we are about to go green here, pace car is dipping on in. And Ricky Renner will be taking them to the green flag here. There we go. And you can see Barney waving that flag there. Going with a TV mixed here tonight. Let's see how this, for the most part, works out. All right. Ricky holding on to that lead into turn 1. Mason going to slot in wide on the outside at second there. As Nickerson, looking to take second place away from Mason, is going to do it into the corner there. Oh, you can already see those tires not quite holding what they expected. And that is Herbert Pineda getting a spot in there on Nickerson. Further on back in the field, Jack Peterson up a spot. Another big gainer here is going to be Bronson Stafford. Nice little view here, get everybody in the shot. Brady, you can hear the Discord notifications. Yeah, let's see. Not sure why, but Discord does not have me in their, what do they call it, streaming mode, and I'm not sure how to just easily trip that, but we'll mute Discord until Mr. Abi Vizubasam decides to hop in here. Going back and forth here. It is Ricky Renner still leading the first lap here. Kind of see what these guys look like coming down to the line. You can see that's 3/4 of a second gap to Mason, Herbert, and Nickerson. You see this is the tightest little grouping here. That is Nathan Sides trying to look to make a move there on Braden Carlson. Looking like Braden has that position locked down now for at least a little while. Up front, gonna have Ricky there. Running a little bit of a gap to Mason. Herbert. Oh, you see some guys running a little wide there. Alan Gullison there and Josh Anderson. Looking like Betts is trying to make a move to the inside of Bronson. Or no. Of Molyneux, yeah. That is Betts getting past James Molyneux there. Dane Simpson in that pink and black McLaren here. Nice to see his paint job showing up here for this particular replay. And Matthew Rodriguez in there. And then a little bit of a gap back to John Crane, William Burrell, Alex Jaspers, and Nick Terrell with the late start. Wondering if Nick has something up his sleeve. Running that Spaceballs M3. Getting some good paint jobs here tonight. Checking back with Ricky. See these guys. This way you can kind of get an idea on the field and how much they're coming by. Looks like Rodriguez is going to make a move here on Betts. Oh, that's... No, that is Crane that's looking to make a move on Rodriguez. What happened with Dane here? Oh, Matthew Rodriguez putting the back of that Ferrari into the wall. And that rear tire looks no bueno. No bueno at all. Let's get our track map up here while we're thinking of things. Where is it? There we go. So let's check back on our leader here. Ricky Renner up to a 1.4 second gap over Mason Smith. And Nick Nickerson a little bit further back from there. And he has Peterson in that. Oh, man. And there's that rain again. I saw it in that camera view. There it is. It is starting to rain. I am seeing wipers coming on. It's coming, guys. There you go. Are they going to pit in? Are they going to stay out? They're going to stay out one more lap here. Looks like that is everybody staying out, with the exception of the 01 of Rodriguez that is in the pits for the damage repair. But I can tell you right now, coming out on cold tires on a wet track would not be fun. But it is not running over the whole track, just that previous little bit there on the backside. You can see it's starting to come over to this part now. I'm not seeing any, well, I think we're starting to see the beginnings of a little bit of spray under those tires. Checking back into this view here. See if it starts to show me the rain on this one. Not seeing it here on this particular part of the track yet. But it is here. See Mason running just a tad, probably wider than I would imagine he wanted to there. Gotta see how this field is there. Ricky Renner last lap posting the fastest time of a 147.79, so the rain not necessarily slowing him down yet. Looking like he's taking every bit of that curve back there. Have to wonder if that's going to be a off track or a potential slowdown. All right, let's see. Closest real battle here is these four cars, kinda. Got Jack Peterson here leading out in the 2-1-2. Then Braden Carlson, Nathan Sudds, and Alan Gullison. All these guys within a second of each other. I'm going to leave it on Nathan here, trying to hope to get everybody in one shot. Because you never know. With this rain, somebody can try to send one and find out the hard way it's too soon, too late. That is Gullison all over the back of Nathan Sudds here. But that is definitely rain. We're starting to see the spray. It's going to be interesting. So looking back through here, the other battle we currently have is going to be kind of between Mugello and Anderson here. They're within about 2-3 tenths of each other. I'll keep it back over here. Braden looking like he wants to try to make a move around Peterson. Yeah, but at what point does that quote-unquote dry line? I mean, if you go offline now, well, it might still be dry on the line. You know, you go offline and that water is going to be way worse. As we have Braden here staying within that 1 second gap. You can see the hesitation on the wheel there, hoping and praying that that front end finds that little bit of grip, that little bit of purchase. Yeah. Nobody into the pits yet. Kind of surprising. Figure we might have a few takers. But as you can see, the spray is really starting to develop. Yeah, it's one of those things like in the F1 games. You'll hear DRS has been disabled, and that's the point you immediately know you need to be on the intermediates. They don't have intermediates here, just the wets. But definitely, at this, from what I'm seeing, it looks like it should be just starting to collect all over the track. Let's see what our weather says here real quick. It's only 71 Fahrenheit, 73 degrees track temp. So I might leave that up and kind of keep an eye there on that track temp and see with this rain if it starts falling a little bit more. But I imagine if we go back to the beginning, it probably has already fallen a little bit. Alright. Looking in here. Trying to keep an eye. And Peterson and Carlson have broken out a little bit of a gap there on Nathan and Gullison and Stafford. But Dane Simpson up 7 positions. Looking to make a little bit of a move here on Mugello, it looks like. Ready to poke that nose down to the inside. All right, I need a decent camera here that doesn't change. Is he going to go for the twofer? Ooh, no, he gets it on the inside. That McLaren seems to be hooking up a little bit better than the Acura. But Dane has Bronson Stafford right in front of him here. Although maybe the top end having to go to the Acura. But Dane coming down the inside there. Ooh. You can tell Simpson is looking for a way around. Not exactly a ton to find. Yeah, at some point you're going to want to make it 3 wide to see if you can pick a line through, but yeah, with the way, oh, we can see James losing the back end of the Acura there. Kind of looks like it wrinkled in the front of Dane's car, but looks like iRacing netcode said, nope, you're okay. But with that, I've got a feeling we're probably checking in with Mason here up front. And so Ricky has not been in the pits, but last lap was about 10 seconds off pace. So guessing Ricky had a little bit of a spin, and unfortunately with SDK, I'm not going to get to see any notifications on what may have happened. So Ricky Is he going to come into the pits this time? He is not. Nor is Nickerson. Let's check here. Peterson. Carlson. None of these guys coming in for wets. Bronson. Dane. But that is some definitive spray now coming off of the cars. Dane going to kind of look to that side. He's going to look to the inside. On the brakes, on the brakes. Bronson leaving him some room on the inside. Ain't gonna tuck back in line there. Maybe try the over-under. Sold him a little bit of a dummy fake. Gets his nose in there, down into the next corner. Dane has a nose in on entry, but Bronson sending it in just a little bit harder from the inside line. Simpson gonna look to the outside, maybe. You can feel he has the pace. He just got to find a clean way around. And with these track conditions, it's going to be treacherous. Oh, yeah. Dane all over the brakes there. I believe they're coming into... where are they right now? There's the 30... 96. Okay, yeah. Yeah, they're going through a Ribbiata 1 and a Ribbiata 2. Which, for anybody that was curious, the translation for a Ribbiata is angry. So, angry corner 1 and angry corner number 2. Well, you can see the car's not so happy about being on those curbs. Those painted sausages are going to get very slick very quick. Not seeing any pulling up here, and it looks like the track might just be drying out. Not seeing any of the rain we were seeing on the front straight just a short time ago. Let's check back in here. Looks like Nathan Sod's trying to make the move on Carlson there. And oof, they are running neck and neck. Oh wait, we need to hop in this one. With this, you can kind of see how close it looks. Braden running Nathan here. I mean, all over the back of that Merc in the braking zones. Like the Porsche has a little bit mid-corner speed, maybe. The Merc having a little bit more oomph in that big old V8. But Braden definitely still taking what I would call the dry line, using all the track analysts. Nope. He's gonna try, but not quite close enough this time. But this has let Bronson Stafford, as you can see here, go back to our TV1, and Dane, they have pulled up to the back of Alan Gullison here now. So these two pushing on, and they're going to find, judging by their last lap time, let's see, Bronson almost 2 seconds faster than Braden and Nathan there. So you got two that are coming up to the back of this battle. They're going to want to put the hammer down really hard. Let's see how well this goes. Nobody taking a peek really to the inside this time. Allison just running that little bit of a tighter line, it looks like, through the inside. The same one Dane's running there. We've got our divisions up here on the right, and we'll do the, swap it over back to the overall here for a little bit so you can see. But, yeah, you've got 5th through 9th, all pretty much nose to tail here. Looking back in here. Yep. Nathan and Braden just sitting here playing. Yeah. Braden's playing peekaboo in Nathan's rearview mirror. But you can see, I guess Dane did get a little bit of damage. It wasn't the canards on the front that got messed up, but it looks like more just a little dink on the actual front bumper and front splitter. So that's going to be costing him a little bit of downforce. And then we have Alan Gullis in there in the Top Gear machine, just kind of, yeah. I think Alan's probably just sitting there trying to hold station and just wait and see what happens. But nobody took the rain tire option. We still have Nick Terrell. I'm guessing he got some damage in the beginning, maybe? Hard to tell. Or maybe he went and grabbed wets thinking it was going to be the call. But definitely not looking up to pace with everybody else here tonight. Weird to see a platinum driver all the way down in 18th. This is some of the biggest gaps we've seen out of this group in a minute. Everybody over half a second. Just a lap or two ago. Oh, Dane into the kitty litter there. Let's check back. Over Bronson, you know, your leader Mason Smith currently with a 20-second lead over Bronson Stafford. That is to Herbert Pineda, who is in 10th, is 22.5 seconds. Did Herbert? I think Herbert may have come in to take those rain tires. Possibly. No. Not showing him of coming to the pits yet. But here we go. That is Alan Gullison getting closer and closer to the back of that Porsche. Gonna take a look on the outside maybe there, Alan? Go for the cutback? Not quite close enough after that braking zone. And then you see Bronson dropped a little bit off of the back of Alan there. Here. Ooh. That is Herbert Pineda flying past Nick Terrell. All I can think is Nick put the wets on and is now severely paying for it. I mean, because it's hard to tell with a BMW sometimes, but I don't think that's front end damage. The splitter still looks straight. Check back in here up front with Jack Peterson and Nathan Sods. Oh, there is some more rain I saw. Let's see here. Yeah, definitely still your best battle here on track between Peterson in 4th and all the way back now to Dane Simpson, Herbert Pineda trying to make his way through here. As we will go on here. See Herbert Pineda last lap about a second faster than the guys directly in front of him, Allen and Braden. Now Herbert's last lap there of a 148.8.2 has pretty much matched Mason's fastest lap. Sorry, Mason's last lap of a 48.8.1. So, Pineda going to be making up, you know, not losing any time to that lead pack there. Yep. Oh no, we see Herbert Pineda going off track there. That allows Dane Simpson back past him. So, with dark clouds coming back and the rain coming back down, definitely going to be an interesting thing here. We are just under a quarter of the way into this race now, with Dane coming into the pits, Ricky coming into the pits, everybody coming into the pits with the exception of Josh Anderson apparently saving a little bit more. Here's the question. If we go into Ricky here and we go, I need a pit. Those. I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to go back just to see. Through the pit phase, we'll watch for the tire swap. And see if he changes the brand or the kind of tire there. So, looking like Ricky gonna stay there on those tires. And we were somewhere with him right about here when we came back out. That going to be Mason there. Definitely now that the yeah, but the first 20-something minutes looks like it stayed pretty close there, though you can see the pits definitely opened up a few of the gaps there. Here you have now Braden Carlson all over the back of William Burrell there. William not stopping right then. So I don't know if we have some big plans for fuel saving out of some of these guys. Looking back here, it's going to be Ricky Renner now, after that pit stop, got the gap to Mason down to 0.7 of a second. But as you can see, they've got some lap traffic, and lap traffic in the rain, not an easy thing. And that gets Ricky within half a second of Mason. That's inside the draft window, even for that Porsche. Some Porsche on Porsche action here into turn one, maybe, for the lead. In the rain. We will see. Ricky going to the outside. Is he going to be able to full send a sail around the outside and maybe a cutback maneuver? A little bit, but not enough to make the actual position change there. Now, interestingly enough, if you look at third, Bronson Stafford, he was only in the pit box for 13 seconds. So, wondering if somebody took maybe not a full load of fuel, knowing, did Bronson know that early on they're going to wind up being forced for a splash and dash, and decided that if he got out ahead of these guys, that he could maybe make a little time? Or, unfortunately, it's not easy for me to tell who's running what tires. But that definitely looks like some rain, and oh, you see James Molyneux spun around back there. James will get going here again. Gonna jump back to our leader, because that is put, let's see, where did he go? Josh Anderson in the pits now. Well, is out of the pits. Has Dane Simpson just getting around him there. Bronson running this high. It's been a while since we've had a Canadian on the podium step, so definitely something to keep an eye out for here as we go along. Mason and Ricky 20 seconds ahead of Bronson there. So most of these guys all took about 17 seconds. Nick Nickerson taking 21, and I can tell you 21 is the time for a 4-tire change and a fuel for this. So these other guys probably taking 3 tires. There's Josh Betts and Herbert Pineda into the pits now. As we are looking through here, yep, weather kind of staying the same. There's 73-degree track temps, nothing too crazy. So, since we are a quarter of the way into the race here, I'm going to do a little love to hear it segment as I go get myself another drink, and I'll be right back. Let's see. Just curious as the points. Yeah, well, that might be a spoiler. I don't know. That's not where I meant to click. I'll just put the love to hear it on, mute myself, and turn the game off. Be back shortly. Alright, and we're back. Looking like we got some good action going on there for a second. Oh! That was Nathan Sides losing the back wing of that Mercedes. Nice pirouette there. Good job staying off of everybody. Definitely a interesting ride there, I am sure. Oh. And with no rear wing. Is he going to keep it? Yep, kept it in the kitty litter. If I'm Nathan, I'm headed to the pits right now. I know you hate to, but look in the rear view, see, you'll see the missing wing. And missing wing plus rain. Bad idea. You see these guys are back in the pits here. At least Peterson, Gullison, and Carlson. If I do this, and we go to... Let's see here. Let's go back. Is he... Hard to tell. Might have to hit stop and see if I can see tread. And when's he going to drop him? Hard to tell. Not sure if those are rain tires or not. But that is definitely looking a whole lot wetter than what we saw earlier. They've got to be on rain tires at this point. Well, they don't have to be, but I would highly recommend it personally. So. Here we go. You can see there, I think that is a Josh Anderson that does not have rain tires on. And I think that's going to be the difference you can see right there. But Nickerson has only pitted the one time. Bronson Stafford only pitted the one time. See if these two. Yeah, that is going to be the two of Nickerson. He's about to spin around here. See if he comes into the pits this time and decides. Is it going to be Tom? No. Nickerson going to stay out. He's 20 seconds behind Ricky Renner right now. Although that is Ricky Renner into the wall there. Let's have to see what just happened right there. You see, he gets on it. Oh, yep. Loses the back end. Keeps it off the wall, though. It's a good job for Ricky there on the save. But that's why there is a now, looks like 17 to 18 second gap between Mason and Ricky. And this is Dane Simpson now up 8 positions into 4th. No, into 5th. Dane staying out. Dane pitted on lap 13. You can definitely see a little bit of damage to the front end of that McLaren for Dane Simpson there. And yep. So we can pull up our pit strategy here. And you can see a bunch of these guys just doing that short little pit. So this has to be for rain tires. Oh, Dane losing the back there. And to me, those look a lot like slicks. And that would indicate that he pitted 5 laps ago and has not come in for those wet tires yet. Whereas Braden has been in the pits 3 times now. And the other one we were looking for that was up here was Bronson Stafford. Guessing Bronson had a little bit of issuage there, because he was running about the same as Dane. Dane just looking to make it back to the pits safely here. Through a Ribbiata 2 there. Or Spicy 2. Angry, however you'd like to do the exact translation. We're going to put the pit strategy away there. And you can see Dane electing to stay out on those dry tires. Maybe Dane thinking with the rain going away, if he sticks it out, that's a 30-second gain, or I guess technically 52 seconds in pit lane time, of which you're moving for about 30 of it. So probably a total loss of 40-ish seconds, I would imagine. As they are coming down here, but you can see the speeds. You know, minimum corner speeds 60s, 70s, which in the rain that is a lot of water on the track there. I mean, it's not, we don't have puddles, but that is not a dry track with that amount of spray at 80 miles an hour. You can tell Dane kind of car just a little twitchy underfoot there. Hop in and try to see how his driving looks. Trying to catch these corners. Ooh. You can tell definitely just, whoa. Yeah, nice save there, Dane. All that dirt experience coming in handy. See, you poke the throttle a little bit and that McLaren, yep, just ready to step on out. I mean, surely at this point, with this amount of rain, you gotta come into the pits, right? I mean, he's still running third. And yeah, it's kind of plowing on him mid-corner. It's getting snappy. It's gotta be time to come in. But nope, Dane electing to stay out another lap. He has Ricky Renner right behind him. And yeah, this is going to be your difference between wets and dries right here. But as they come through here, yep, you can see just Ricky with so much more confidence there on the tires, on the car. Drop back and pull our group settings back up here. Ooh. Keep the GT pulled up here. Yeah. Yeah, Mason opening that gap up to Dane as well. So Mason pitting on lap 19. So 21 off track supposedly for Ricky Renner. Got a feeling SDK is not 100% reporting that correctly. But we know he at least has a few. Although Nick Nickerson showing him pitting on lap 13 as well. Still out here. Just going around. A little bit of damage there on the right front, you can tell. But honestly, just looking like he's keeping the out of everybody's. Whoa, yeah. You can see that entry. I mean, last lap, Nickerson running a 2:04. Oh, slides, gets in the kitty litter, parks it for half a second, and goes to get back on the track. But he has a 48-second lead over Mason Smith. Yeah, which is somewhere around where that crossover point for the tire change is going to be. The problem is once those tires are dirty, and now they're going to have cooled off a little bit, it's going to get a little sketchier. The dry tires, if you, I mean, I haven't tried them in the wet yet, but used to at least be that if you kept the temperature in them, they weren't so bad. Starting on a cold, dry tire in the rain, now that would just be suicide. Yeah, you can kind of tell Nick just having to kind of tiptoe. Keep an eye out here and see how, I mean, the track is just wet now. You can see it just kind of plowing on him, waiting to try to put that power down. Running a 2:12 last lap. Mason running a 2:07. So I mean, at this rate, that's going to be 5 seconds a lap slower. Yeah, this might just be a little. I mean, he's just dropping so gingerly, but if it works for him, well, it's something to definitely keep an eye on. But yeah, I've got a feeling that if it keeps raining like this, he can't stay out on those dry tires. Although 44 minutes in, he's probably just about, from a fuel stop worth, going to be coming in anyway for tires. So maybe assuming that when the other guys may have burned off the best of their wets, and now that the track is wetter, he might just be able to run away with it, even if he comes out right ahead of Mason. There we go. But we again have the Peterson and Carlson battle going on here. And these two are coming up to Dane Simpson. Looks like in short order here. I'll focus it over to Peterson here to kind of keep the cameras a little more correctus. You can see not running the quote-unquote dry line, these two. Nick Nickerson, their last lap, running at 2:06. So still able to trade times, it appears to be, with Mason Smith. So I guess Nickerson putting on a little bit of a masterclass to show you what's possible. Yeah. Don't remember Nick being amazingly good on the dirt before, but guessing he's had plenty of practice with the rain and can now handle a car that's all over the place a little bit better. So we are 47 minutes into this 2-hour race here so far, with Nick Nickerson leading by 46 seconds over Mason Smith. You know, which a lot of people are going to go, oh my God. Now, well, yes, Nick is fast. He is on pace with Mason here and there, definitely. But that 46 seconds is due to the lack of times pitted by Nickerson. He has only been in the pits once here tonight. And so as we are on lap 24, if he does the same, he has 2 more laps left before he needs to pit for fuel again. Now, the real question is, with the track this wet, do you go ahead and hop and grab the wets? Because it's going to be a longer pit stop. And Nickerson's just going around the outside of James Molyneux like it's, you know, completely... Yeah, is this that F124 bug where it's wet for some and dry for others? But all in all, one heck of an impressive performance so far by Nickerson. Keeping it on the track for the most part. We saw him have that one little slip up into the kitty litter in the corner coming up here, but I'm seeing the sun out. And then I'm seeing rain. So, yeah, see, Ricky, you're saying that, but I don't think Nickerson is. Unless Nickerson took the wet on lap 13, but he would have burned off most of that tread by the time it actually rained, because y'all pitted on 19. If he comes in on lap 26, we'll know. But Ricky is 1 minute back here behind Nickerson. Seen that Porsche have a few little bobbles here tonight. But looks like he has kept all of the body panels intact, and that is the important thing. Right, it doesn't switch to dries on a wet track. You know, it's possible. He could pull it off. I don't know. I never count Nickerson out. Actually curious. If I do this right here, I think I can cheat and find something out. Let me see if this works. Just have to see. I don't think it's going to show you all this overlay. I think it'll show it to me. Oh, because of the thing, it's not going to show me. Well, drats. There we go. Let's see. I mean, there's no way. Hop in here. Look at this battle here. between Peterson, Carlson, Jaspers, and Betts. See, the funny thing for me is I've got Ricky, Jack, and Brady talking in chat and saying didn't know what tires. It's like, y'all were in the race, you would know. But that Bilstein paint job on that Porsche looking pretty nice there tonight. Yep, lap 26. That is Nickerson in. I'm going to grab that right front. See, the problem is I don't know the DH. Unknown. I'll have to try to see. Here she is racing. Oh, and Nickerson finding out the hard way about the new cold tires. Right out of the pit lane doing that. That has given the lead up to Mason Smith there. Oh. That looks ultra sketchy. Peterson Ferrari missed him. That's what it sounds like. Oh, I think Braden knows something that Nickerson popped a fresh set of dries on it, might appear. Because, yeah, he's just skipping the This is somebody who just wants to get back around and get back to the pits. That's painful. Whoa! Nice Tokyo drift, but I don't think that's the right way to do it there, Nick. But looking through here, who do we have? Oh! Yep, Nick's still going through the things. Here we go. This is Peterson and Braden here. Oh. Something in that shot the computer did not 100% like. But we are just shy of halfway through this race. And Mason Smith with a 7-second lead over Ricky Renner. Right? Yeah. Yeah, Nick just trying to survive here. Oh. I'm thinking Nick's getting better traction out in the kitty litter. Maybe in the wet, that might be a thing if you didn't have to do it. Dane Simpson into the pits now. As Nickerson will probably be another set of tires in. That has put Mr. Peterson up to third position, your final podium spot here. Yeah. Yeah, I know you're in the race, Brady, but then again, there's only so much you can remember when you're managing your own race. I can't tell you the number of times I've done one of these and you're just like, Oh wait, you died out there? I had no clue until we went across the line. Little twitch there out of Peterson. But these two... I mean, this has been an hour, and these two are 4/10 apart. Multiple pit cycles. Yeah. That's some good good racing right there. Although I almost feel like that paint job on Jack's car needs to have the letters TRD across it. Anybody that played Ivan Stewart's Super Off-Road will remember why. Ricky Page. Nice. But as weird, let's see. Check in here. Who else has got another? Nick Terrell going past William Burrow. Yeah, see, Jack, I'm not surprised. I know guys do that in oval. I can't. Now, I can listen to music while I do it, but that's just to keep me out of my own head. But no way I could try to, like, glean information from a broadcast while I'm racing. So, Mason putting in a 208. Now that we assume Nickerson is on the correct tire, I'd be curious to see what he runs. Yeah, back to that Porsche looking nice and planted. Well, you know, I would say that's a broadcaster curse, but it exactly can't be. Not when it's already happened. There we go. Let's see. Looks like our highest running Canadian currently, Alex Jaspers, running an 8th in that 117 Pfaff livery Porsche. Looks like a little bit of action here between Alan Golison and Josh Betts. Josh, take a little look on the inside, decides better of it. Alan running in 5th right now, so excellent job for our silver division up there. And the best thing is Jack Peterson having, well, I don't count it because SDK is doing its silly thing. But silver and gold showing a faster lap time currently than platinum. So that's why the little standings there on the left are not quite the way they should be. So Ricky done crashing the Porsche with an hour left to go on a wet track. I'm skeptical. But Alan going for another lap. Josh coming into the pits. There's your 12-second gap between Alex and Dane there. So Dane just taking a little bit of the damage, saving that fast repair. Just in case he needs it for the second half. Oh! Dane losing the back end there. Oh, hoping. With that amount of water I'm seeing there, who knows? That is Josh Anderson in the pits there. Nathan Suds. Go back to this mixed TV camera set I got here. Got some interesting shots out of it. Nathan down 5 spots from his original start. Only one running the Merc here tonight, so hoping that the Merc feels a lot better after the new tire update. Really hoping this didn't become the Porsche Cup. Check in with our leader here, Mason Smith. Has a 2.7 second gap over Ricky Renner there. You see Josh Anderson letting Ricky by. And then 46 seconds between Ricky and Braden Carlson there. Kind of shows you that some of these platinum guys are almost on a league of their own at times. But that is Braden Carlson are getting around Jack Peterson there. So that'll be one to kind of keep an eye on as we go forward here. Looks like Josh Bett's going to try to line up something on Dane Simpson here. Yeah, I know the McLaren's going to have the top end straightaway on the Porsche. Porsche may be a little punchier out of the corner, but let's see if Betts has anything for Dane as they come down the straightaway. Currently, almost a second gap. It's showing Josh kind of running in that puddle there. But that's the kind of lack of sight lines you have with this much rain. Ooh, yeah. See him driving it a little deep into that corner there. Let's see. Ooh. Josh getting a little wild here to go into the kitty litter there. They are currently going through, what area is that? 341, all right. Yeah. So this is the spotty rain iRacing talked about adding, where it's going to be a little different every lap. You can tell this section of the track starting to almost dry out. Yeah, it's going to have those little puddles here and there, but well, maybe not quite. But you can tell it's not as wet as that front straight currently. Let's go back here and check in. All right, so we got these guys here. And that is Braden getting out of the pits ahead of Jack Peterson, but Peterson right there on the tail. Yeah, you can kind of see Peterson pushing a little hard into turn one there on the cold tires. Ricky Renner is into the pit box there. The coming in looks like a lap before Mason Smith. And in here, Mason has everybody up to 10th lapped right now. And judging by the gap, let's see. Let me take a quick little look here on the roll bar. Oh, See Alan Gullison off the track there. But it appears Nathan is still just kind of outside of where he can see. Well, you can see him right up there. So the top 10 are no longer safe for being lapped here tonight. See, it looks like that gap between Braden and Jack right about 2 seconds now, so that's something we'll just kind of keep an eye on here a little bit. Showing Alan Gullison in the pits here. Let's take a look at... Oh. That is a bunch of missing rear end for Alan Gullison. Dane Simpson. Oh! Spinny spin spin Dane. Dane gonna get back going. Dane deciding that the pits is the right option. Oh, gets a little dink there from Nathan Sides on the way into the pits. Nathan coming in at full speed. Dane not quite. We have James Molyneux in the pits for quite a while, getting some damage repaired. So with this, that is Alex Jaspers currently leading your silver division all the way up in the top 3. So that is a heck of a result here so far at about an hour and 8 minutes in for Alex Jaspers. Let's see here. And what do you know? Looks like Peterson is slowly caught that gap back up to Braden Carlson, got it within a lap, or within a second. Obviously, it's within a lap. Here we go. 212 machine. Getting that Porsche wound up. They're about to come onto the main straight after this long left-handed sweeper. We're going to see a difference in line. Braden holding down the inside. Looks like Jack taking a little bit of a sweeper line. Going to try to get a little bit more exit speed. Having to poke out to the left here. We can hop in on that roll bar and see how much spray he's having to deal with seeing. Gonna probably go out a little earlier than normal. We will check them into the braking zone here. Whoa! Jack, all kinds of Larry on the way in. Gonna try to hang it around the outside and maybe a little bit of a cut back. Not quite enough. But that gap is down to under half a second now. So Jack trying to lay the pressure on and hope for a mistake out of Braden there. But so far, Braden appears to be rock solid. Oh no. Oh no. Ricky's doing okay so far. Let's see here. Closest battle still on track here. Oh, Jack getting out in the kitty litter again. And then it starts raining. So, I'm going to take a quick little peek. Obviously, we got some more rain coming in. A little bit heavier this time. But we might be getting a dry track towards the end here. Ricky guy can't stop crashing. Nice. Where is that Nathan Sides here now? the losing the back end almost there. Dane Simpson pitting a lap 27, running 7th currently. He is still up 10 positions. Go back to our 3rd place, Alex Jaspers here. Alex looking like he's just kind of kept his nose clean here. Running 2:07 last lap, which is faster. Oh, well, Ricky pitted, that's why. Oh, no. No, it's faster than Mason, who just pitted. Ricky pitted the lap before. But yeah, Alex running 2:07s in this weather. That's he's really the only one under 2:10 right now, except for Joshua Betts and William Burrell. Check back here. Ooh. Peterson getting nice and close and having the lap car William Burrell there. Yeah, maybe could have made a move, but got a feeling it was a little too dangerous. Decided to back out just a little bit. Definitely the Jackal can have a little bit more on turn in and braking phase than Braden. So we are an hour and almost 15 minutes in. Let's pull up the pitch strategy here real quick, see what it looks like. Complete and total pandemonium. Looks about like what you would see at the end of a 500 lap Daytona race. Not 500 laps of Daytona, 500 mile Daytona race. I mean, obviously the lap numbers would be different, but just the lack of any cohesion of when people are really pitting. Back to our dashboard over there. It says his wonderful replay was provided by Ricky. If you'll notice, you can actually watch his throttle traces and you know, even some of the braking markers if you want to try to get faster. Yeah, Ricky didn't think about that when he sent me the replay, did you? Yeah, but you can see how gentle you're having to be on the throttle there to try to keep this thing from losing the rear end. But that has put Ricky within a second of Mason. That's opening into the not DRS. Sorry, I watched Formula One this morning, but that is opening up into the draft window. As they have kind of keeping an eye on it. Looks like Peterson and Braden there playing peekaboo with that 1 second gap, kind of like Mason and Ricky here. That's one of the things we love about Core here. We do have all these different divisions, so you know, you're still racing for your division championship. You know, you got your platinums, your gold, silver, and bronze. So there's really competition throughout all of it, because when you look at your actual divisions, in gold, you have Braden and Jack, who for the past hour and a quarter have been running just about within a second of each other. So, nice achievement there out of your gold. Silver, it's a little different shape currently. Jaspers has about a... Let's see. I gotta look. Jaspers currently has a 28-second lead over Josh Betts there. So, heck of a performance for Alex Jaspers here. And then let's check in here. See, bronze. We've got, where is Anderson? So, in bronze from Anderson to Burrell is a minute 17. So, you know, losing about a second or two a lap on average. But you also, these two are, let's see, fairly similar pit strategy. They're both probably about to come in. Yeah, you know, up here in Platinum, 0.3 of a second gap here between Mason and Ricky. You can kind of see Ricky there, just that little bit of throttle maintenance. Well, oh, that's right. If I click on Ricky, we can see here. Not Mason. You can see, definitely not full throttle. Really? Oh, wait, no, that's... I'm sorry. On the left is not the throttle trace like I thought. That is the RPMs. Should have realized that. Four tenths here versus 4 tenths for 4th and 5th. But the rain's still coming down here. We'll do another little quick love to hear it segment, and I'll be back shortly. And here you can see the back of Dane Simpson having what looks like some missing bits off that McLaren there. Looks like a rear bumper is gone, and I've got a feeling we're going to see, with about 30 minutes left, Mr. Simpson will be taking that fast repair and moving on now. The lap 41 here so far. An hour and 23 minutes into this race. And we still have these two. Braden and Jack. That gap's staying right around the seconds. But Josh Betts is up here as well. And Betts is going to be in silver. Going to go back to our overall here and kind of see how everything's laid out here. Find this Alan Gullison here. Looking like he's got that tail fixed, and about a minute and a half there behind Dane Simpson. Let's look back here. Yep. And again, it's these two down into turn one. Jack seems to get a little bit of a better exit out of turn one, whereas Braden seems to be getting a better, I guess, dive into that first little chicane there. And Peterson not quite able to pull anything more than just keeping it together on the way out. But you've got third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. That would be Braden, Jack, Josh, and Alex. All these guys running low 209s last lap. Nobody's really going anywhere with this particular group here. Yeah. Pull our pit strategy back up. See who's about to stop. Looks like Betts will be the next one to excuse me. The next one to stop there in another lap or two. So that's how Betts got ahead of Jaspers. Sides has got a couple more. Anderson will be stopping here soon. Simpson should be stopping in the next lap or two here. Well, no. We just saw Dane stop. See if Dane took that fast repair. It appears that he did. So Dane with a fresh car after that pit stop. So 30-minute sprint for Dane to the end, or a little bit more. He'll probably have to stop for a splash and go, unless this rain is just allowing them to save that much more fuel. Because I'm not sure 14 laps is going to get him all the way to the end. Although missing the rear, I know Dane would have wished he could have gotten one more lap in. I'll put our pit strategy away, bring the dashboard back up there. But yeah, these two still within a second of each other. So, if nothing else, Braden and Jack putting on a nice little fight here. And Ricky here and Mason. Ricky extending a little bit. Thinking if Ricky makes it back at the end of lap 44, that's going to be right at 30 minutes to the end. And gotta cheat, pull my pit strategy back up right here real quick. That's 10. So yeah, Ricky should be able to easily do 2 more. So Ricky will be set up to do his dash to the end of the race. Now, Nick Terrell, after his early race drop towards the back, is now back up to 8th overall. Running that Spaceballs, the Beamer. Pretty sure that paint job on there says she went from suck to blow at some point. But still, your closest battle on track is going to be Braden and Jack here tonight. These two definitely keeping a 2-hour broadcast interesting. Yeah, got a feeling we might be just seeing Peterson stretching that tank out a little bit, just to be on the safe side and letting him be able to do a full-on push at the end. Checking it out. And back here. All right. Just trying to look over some of our data here. You can see these two not pulling away from each other, not also really making a dent. Definitely some of the consistent ones on track, they've been right around that 207, 208 range. But with 30 minutes left, I haven't seen much rain left anymore. Gonna have to take a quick little sheet look here. Only some very, very light rain left. Gonna be interesting to see if that there we go. This is the closest Peterson's been for a minute, deciding to maybe make it. Nope, this is just straight bump drafting. You give him a little tap before the brake zone, see if you can carry too much speed. Peterson pulling out all the tricks of the trade there. And after Betts pits, that puts him out ahead of Alex Jaspers. Sorry, puts him behind Alex Jaspers. My apologies. But now a small mistake from Jack has let Braden pull that back out to about a second, although you can see Peterson coming back in. Though we still have a little bit of rain here. Track definitely picking up a little bit of pace. Last lap, Ricky doing a 2:05 dead. Oh, that was John Crane sideways in the DDE McLaren. Oh no, John. Not stepping off the wall. Good job, John, there on the pirouettes. Currently, this is the closest battle here. Looks like after the pits there, Josh 21 seconds behind Alex. Let's see, when did Alex stop last? 5 laps ago. Oh no, John spinning again right there. Take a little look-see here. Check back in with these two here. Wait, so let's check it. We come through. Yep. Pretty much the next closest battle on track is around a 10-second gap. You got the 10-second gap between Ricky and Mason here. And then there's a 10 or 11 second between Dane and Josh here. So looking like, judging by last lap time, Dane has a chance at getting back to Josh. Nick Terrell taking his last stop. Dane stopping on lap 39. I don't think is going to have enough to make it, but you never quite know. Dane staying out his last lap 39. If you give him 14, that would be got these two in the pits. Let me find my pit lane camera. They're both stopped. It's going to be a drag race out of pit lane. Going to see here. All right, 15, 16. Peterson with a slightly faster stop. That's going to let him jump Braden in this pit phase here. See if Braden has an immediate answer for into turn one. It's only a 0.7 of a second gap. That's optimistic lunch territory, especially out of the pits. Oh, see a little wiggle out of Jack there. So the wet tires, when they're cold, right at, well, the lack of blankets now, definitely making for an interesting outlap. That should bring the overcut in occasionally. But Josh Bett's flying right now. Ooh. Bett's trying to look for a way around Braden here. Yeah, Carlson and Peterson, I'll give you, Ricky, for being on the bingo card. Betts, that's a not that Josh doesn't have some pace, but it is rare to see him keep it together for an entire race, especially for 2 hours. Not have any major little whoopsies. Although if you ask Carl, he calls it pulling a no-binger, but hey, what do I know about that? But looking in here, yep. Pull the pit strategy back up, let's see. Everyone, Jaspers is going to have to pit again. So the Jaspers Betts battle might be very interesting right here after this next round of pit stops. But that's Nathan Sides coming out of the pits and the only Merc here tonight. Drop it back on Braden here and kind of keep these three in the focus. Ricky Renner currently enjoying a gap of 11 seconds over Mason Smith. And that is Dane Simpson. In the pits there. See where Dane comes out. Drop that. I wonder what this pit lane 2 is, other than a camera that's a little messed up. I guess I was just showing you the exit there. But yeah, that's there's an interesting view off of the back of Peterson. Let's see if we can find that. Yeah, you can see the dirty car there, the rooster tail, and how it picks up when they go through the wonderfully modeled puddles now in iRacing. The interesting little view here from the chopper. These guys keeping it nice and close. Betts definitely trying to put all kinds of pressure on the back of Carlson here. Have a battle here between Dane Simpson and... Oh, Dane, no! Nice recovery out of Dane, but that's going to bring Allen a lot closer to him. Dane back into the pits here. We're going to have to take a look at something. Oh, that is Dane serving a drive-through right there. Guess somebody pirouetted a few too many times. And that has let Alan Yellowson by him. Here we go. Is Braden trying to look to make a move on Jack now? Got a lot closer than previous laps. Saw William Burrow backwards over there in the kitty litter. Braden definitely going to have to worry about the silver beating him and Jack here. But as we are approaching 15 minutes to go here of this 2-hour race, see John Crane ducking into the pits there. And Betts is all over the back of Carlson here. Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? Looks like he is going to signal and go left. And maybe just not having quite enough to get beside Braden there in the braking zone. You could throw a blanket over these three. They're so close here after an hour and 45 minutes. Little wiggle there out of Peterson, letting Braden get side by side. And that is going to give the spot there to Braden Carlson. Braden going to pray he can break that gap. Maybe eliminate Jack's ability to draft. But excellent job on the recovery by Jack there, and for Braden for not hitting him, or Josh for, yeah, not an easy thing to do, especially in the rain, especially here at Mugello. It's one of the few tracks I feel like needs and deserves to be on the F1 calendar. With downforce, some of these corners are just so amazing. And yep, Betts now trying to see if he can maybe think of find a way around the cold driver ahead of him. This being a league with fixed setups, there's no extra chance of taking a little less wing or having a little bit better setup. This is just dealing with the cards you were dealt. Betts making a look on the inside, gets ahead at the apex, a little wiggle, and that gives it right back to Peterson. Some very hard racing going on between these guys, but they are keeping it clean. That's what we love to see here in Core. But all this battling back here between Peterson and Betts is letting Braden open that gap up and trying to walk away. Let's look at our pit strategy here for Jaspers. That is 12 laps. All right. Pull our dashboard back here. I think James Molyneux is in the pits currently. I believe that is a drive-through being served. Dane with that dented in hood. No, it's going to be affecting his top end and probably his turn end a little bit as well. But he has the diffuser and the rear wing, so it's not as sketchy as it was earlier for him. As we watch third place Alex Jaspers coming into the pit lane here. Now Alex only needs about 12 minutes worth of fuel. So it should be a quick pit stop. But the question is, will he come out ahead of Josh Betson? That is a no. Now Josh stopped on lap 8. Or he's done 8 laps on this particular tank so far, but that's going to be very, very close out of Josh. Something we will have to keep an eye on here in about 4 to 5 more laps. As after the pits there, that is a 15-second gap for Alex to make up over Josh. And the rain pretty much done. We're seeing the time starting to tumble. Last lap, Braden punching in a 2:05.5. So only half a second off Ricky Renner's pace there. Yeah, looking at our pit strategy in here. 6 laps, so yep. Definitely going to be interesting to see how this one plays out here. I don't need the sector times, I need the dashboard. But Peterson and Betts just going at it. At this point, if I'm Betts and I've got 8 laps on this tank and I think I can squeeze 5 with 10 minutes to go, that's going to be very, very close to making it, depending on where Mason and where Ricky are when that time comes. Ooh, little touch there out of Betts on the entry. Peterson fuel save mode. All right, looks like Nick Terrell, the last one on the lead lap. No, Alex Jaspers is currently the last one on the lead lap, showing a. Oof, he's only about 8 seconds ahead of our race leader, Ricky Renner, right now. Let's see, that's fun. Let's fun bets, and let's take a look off his roll bar here. Sometimes from inside the car is the best and easiest way to figure out where the track's drying, where it's not. And while this track is not dry, it is way drier than it was just a few short laps ago. 7 minutes left here in this race. All right. Yeah, these two here definitely the closest, next closest person on track other than Braden right ahead of him is going to be Alex Jaspers, 14 seconds down. But Jaspers running a 2:05.2 last lap, with Jack and Josh running 2:06.6. But with just 5 minutes left to go, that's not going to be enough. Now, if either one of these puts a tire on a painted surface or drops into the kitty litter or just has a small little spin, that could bring Alex right back into this. Let's see. Check back in with our leader, Ricky, here. 27-second gap over Mason Smith. Nice, fun things. Seeing Ricky taking a bunch of that curb. The right here looks perfectly sunny. Alright. Haven't seen a ton of Mason here tonight. But him and Ricky have just been kind of doing the sparring match with strategies and whatnot. And might need to be getting Mr. Renner a pink tutu after this one. For the number of times he spun that Porsche. Looking back through here, Nick Terrell is still up 3 spots. Jaspers is up 8. He's going to take the largest gain from starting position, I believe, here tonight. Next closest is Dane Simpson, who's up 6, or John Crane, who's up 6th. But 1, 2, 3. All right. Just yeah. Yeah, I think 6 spins while still leading the race. That gets you a pink tutu there, Ricky. Yeah, the gap's kind of opening up here. Josh dropped 11 seconds off the back of Peterson, giving Peterson some breathing room. See if he can close that gap back down to Braden, in which very quickly he says yes. But back under a second. But that gap slowly coming down. But not a ton of time to close it back up. So just about the perfect weather layout here. Though it looks like Jack had a little bit of trouble into turn 1. Now up to 1.5 second gap to Braden ahead of him. We close on to 2 minutes to go, with Ricky crossing the line at that 2-minute point. It's gonna be close. There's your gap between first and second. Currently 8.9 seconds. Yeah, last lap. Josh losing almost 10 seconds to Jack Peterson ahead of him. Definitely going to be worried slightly about people running out of fuel. 30 seconds left to go. We have the 53 machine going through the S's now, so this should be the last one. I was hoping maybe that scenic view got me the thing. But no. Josh Betts into the pits. That's going to let Alex Jaspers by. Ricky coming up to the line here. See if we can see if that is the flag waving. That is white flag this time by. So lordy lordy. That has put Alex Jaspers up to the top spot in silver. Hey, Ricky, if y'all want to get in the waiting room, you're more than welcome to. So looking here, though, the final lap, still 8 seconds to Mason. So this is Ricky. Don't do anything stupid. But Brady and Jack, 5.9 seconds now. Guess that is Jack in fuel saving mode. You have Dane Simpson here. Down in 11th, so not much to charge for anything there. So we have Ricky Renner, our race leader. Where is he on track now? Should be coming up. Yep, final corner down into the inside here. As he goes past this time, we should see that checkered flag waving. That does appear to be it. See that shake there, and then Mason. And then here, almost a minute back, we have Braden Carlson. And that's Betts finishing. So it looks like Jaspers is in fact going to be the silver leader there. Or silver thing. Let's see here between Braden and Peterson. Down to 4 seconds. Does Jack have anything for Braden? Does Braden run out of fuel? Down to 3 seconds. We're going to hop in. Oh yeah, somebody's definitely fuel saving. Is it going to be enough? Half a second now. Peterson going down to the inside. It's a drag race. Who runs out of fuel first? Oh, by 0.042 of a second. Braden taking the podium spot home here tonight. So congratulations to Braden Carlson there. Good job. All right. While we finish this out, I'm going to go poop. And this. There you go. There we go. We'll hide this. Let's pull Ricky in here since Ricky like a word. Ricky, this is John in the booth. You get a copy. So hey, you spun it a couple times, but bringing home the win. Did you know there at the end that there was going to be that extra lap, or were you praying? Because it looked like you actually crossed the line after it had gone to 2 hours.
.6 seconds or something to play with, so I really slowed the pace down and tried to get to the race to go a lap shorter. Not every day that, those guys have career bests and are fighting for a podium position in the overall. So
Yeah.
I was trying to hook him up there, and as you see, like I crossed the line just after the 2 minute or 2 hours was up, and then we got the white flag. So I wasn't able to do that. And
Generally, if
yeah, he
you're
ended up having
within
to pit.
30 seconds of that of an hour or 2 hour mark, it's almost a guaranteed white flag. But definitely was not this time.
Yeah, I don't know if it was basing it off of maybe like the average lap time of the race and not the recent lap times, but we tried to hook him up there, and it just didn't work. But I mean, he still came home P6 out of everybody overall, second. Um,
Oh, that's a heck
we
of
were
a
looking at
finish
the
for
math,
Josh.
and it
I
it ended up getting Gollison to get second in the championship, and he got bets by 1 point in the championship now. So the position actually cost him like quite a bit, but it was still, a great race for those guys, both of them.
Yeah, we definitely saw where Alan and Josh definitely at the end of the season putting on a lot better. But I think that's the first
Yeah.
race I've seen out of Josh where there were no real mistakes out of him the entire race.
Yeah, it was a really good race for him. Usually he's got about 40 minutes, and then a mistake comes, whether it's something small like just slides off track and loses some time. But he drove that one dialed in, and that was good to see. One of those races that gives you a little bit of boost to come back and put in a little bit more time and be ready again for the next time.
Yeah, were you worried a little bit there towards the beginning of the race where you saw Nickerson 40 seconds ahead of y'all and just kind of pulling away?
So at first, it started sprinkling like lap one. We were all like, do we start on tries? We know there's a rain band coming, and then there's a gap, and then another one starts, but we don't know how much. So I think we all decided like start on tries, make it through the first set of rain, and then depending on pit stops, like switch tires at the second stop. And it had started sprinkling, but the track was staying pretty good. And Nick ended up putting wets on at the first pit stop. And then we pulled a pretty big gap, and me and Mason went back out on dries, and it was good, 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 good. And then like lap 5, we both in the double right at the bottom of the hill got a little wide, and I thought he was gonna lose it, so I tried to cut back to the right more, and I ended up spinning it. He ended up out in the gravel, but saved it. I lost a bunch of time there, but we came around the next lap and we both decided like we're gonna stick this out, and then we both crashed again on the next lap, and we were like, okay, yep, undrivable now. So we had a short stop, and I think the wet tire at the first stop actually was probably the move. Um, but at the same time, this gave us to where we didn't have a splash and dash at the end, so it worked out. But that was definitely the move. Just switching to dry tires at the next stop wasn't the move, unfortunately for him.
Well, congratulations on the win there tonight,
Okay.
but I don't. It wasn't quite enough to get you the championship over Mason, was it? At the very end,
No, no, it wasn't enough.
it was close. I think when I
Yeah,
heard David
it wasn't
calculating the
enough.
points.
I knew it was a long, long shot. But like we said, last week, just wanted to go out, put in a good result here, and you know, send off the season on a high note. And I started thinking when I was slowing down at the end that Mason might have been a little worried that I was trying to come back and mess with him so that I could get the extra points. I'm like, oh man, that's not even it. But hopefully, he didn't think that. But yeah, congrats to him on the championship. He drove awesome. He didn't have any races where he had a blow up round. I had one that really cost me, and looking forward to next season with him.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll catch you here again, and again, congratulations. And uh, I think we got a couple weeks off, but it'll be fun to do it again.
Oh yeah, we'll be back.
All right. That was Ricky Renner. Let me pull Mr. Jack Peterson in here now. Jack, this is John in the booth. You get a copy.
Yes, sir. How's it going?
So it's going pretty good. Good race to watch there. 0.04 of a second gap there at the end to come up just a smidgen shy on Braden.
Yep. That was fun. Did a photo finish last time we were at Mugello, so I was really hoping to do it again, but he got me this time. I got him before, so we're even. We need to do it again so we can settle it. See who can actually come out on top.
Yeah, definitely saw him having a fuel save on that last lap there. So I guess he managed to save just enough to have a full bore run to the line.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with it, but yeah, he cut it close, but no, it was a fun finish. The whole race we were neck and neck.
Hey, y'all spent 2
You're
hours within for 90% of that for 2 hours. Y'all were within a second of each other.
mhm.
So
A lot of that was strategy. We were just trying to keep each other going, save each other fuel for it. We took some chances with tire strategy, and half of it being Brady's idea with what tires to take, and it worked out well. So
you
really
had a
happy
few
with.
off-track incidents we saw.
Yeah, not to say there wasn't any skill issues, but yeah, no, other than that, it's better than the alternative. There's a lot of people that went off track and really spun it. I think Ricky's agent, I'm sorry, was counting six.
I lost
Um,
track.
yeah. But yeah, no, it was a fun race. Also getting to battle with Alex and Josh. Don't normally see them, and it was really awesome to see them up there. A lot of fun to battle with them.
Yeah, if Josh keeps the car clean and has no mistakes next season, it'll definitely be interesting to see how well he does.
Yeah, of course.
'Cause obviously, he's got some pace.
Yes, yeah, especially in some rain. So we'll see if the weather gods are good to us next season, and could see more battles like that in the future.
Well, congratulations. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 212 machine before we let you go?
Well, of course, Alan and Brady making up Team Midshift Racing. They're always super competitive, super fun to race with. They make it what it is, and you guys, of course, for always putting it on, and um, Ricky even and Carl. We're trying to plan some stuff, get some ideas sorted out for the future. So I'm hoping some of that turns out well.
Well, awesome. Well, hopefully, we'll catch you next season.
Yes, sir. I'll be there.
All right. I was going to bring in Alex Jaspers here. Where is Alex? Alex, this is John in the booth. You got a copy.
Hey, John, I got a copy.
So, were you a little worried earlier on in the race when you saw Dane so far ahead?
Oh yeah, I was a little concerned. Like the very, very start of the race, I'd say maybe lap 2 or 3. I had a little spinny spin of my own there, and put me way in the back. And I was, oh man, one of those like you're not gonna win the race on the first lap. It's a 2-hour race. Need to pace yourself, kind of things, eh? And just hit my marks, tried to be patient, and just fought myself back up again. And yeah.
Well, definitely. I know at one point we saw where Dane was up in third, and I was going, "Whoa, wait, what's going on?" And then we realized that somebody put the wrong tires on the car and quickly had to come back in.
Yeah, I seen the weather. It was on and off, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's gonna be low, it's gonna be high, or like heavy, it's gonna be light." And I was like, I'm just gonna keep the wets on the whole time. Like even if it unless the track starts getting like really dry, then maybe like the very last pit stop, I was really contemplating putting on the dries because the track was starting to dry up pretty good. The wets were starting to get a little slippery. And I just
Yeah,
decided
with the
not.
new tire model, how was the? Did they seem even if you got them a little hot? Did they seem to respond a little better?
I'd say that the new tire model is definitely stickier once you're up to temp.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
I did
takes.
a quick little test and spun it into turn 1 3 times straight out of the pits and went, and then looked at the temps and went, "Oh yeah, no tire blankets."
Oh
Okay.
yeah, they're very, very cold right off the bat. Like it was actually probably the very start of the race on our pace lap was the most weaving I've seen out of everybody to
I was
try
gonna
to
say
get some
I'm
temps
gonna have
into
to
those
get with Carl.
tires.
We may have to start doing standing starts.
Oh boy, turn one's dangerous enough.
No, we'll just do standing starts. We'll go to Monza. How about that?
That's fine. I'll just take the penalty, go straight through, and still get ahead of everybody probably.
No, that's when you go pit lane start. It is.
Absolutely.
But no,
But
definitely. You showed what keeping your head down and just staying out of major trouble really did over the course of a race for you.
yeah, been like this year, been just trying to work on consistency a little bit more. Like don't push for the fastest lap all the time. Just hit your marks. Try to stay a little more consistent. Try not to spin it out of control all the time. And it seemed to pay off.
The old adage
I had
of to
no.
finish first you have to finish.
Exactly, yeah. I surprised myself a little bit there. I felt like I had no business being up in third place for a while there, but it felt
Hey,
good at the time, obviously.
strategy.
Yeah, yeah. I did a little undercut, and it ended up working out pretty good for me, I think.
Well, congratulations. Hopefully we can catch you again next season. And anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I give a big shout out to you up in the booth there, John, doing this for us, and even doing it after.
Sorry it came a little late. So
Hey, no worries at all. It's good to watch it back, and it's actually pretty interesting now to watch it while you're doing the broadcast. It's pretty awesome. Um, and then to my family, of course, obviously, my wife let me do this every week, and my family that watches me every week, my mom and my sister there, and my profile pic there is me and my nephew there on my shoulder. So he gets pretty excited to watch me race too. So.
well, all right. Well, congratulations, and like I said, hopefully we can catch you next season.
Absolutely, man. I'll be there.
All right. That was Alex Jaspers in our silver division winner. Let's pull up the results here real quick if it doesn't break everything. Okay, it doesn't. So that's Ricky Renner taking home first place here tonight. Mason Smith in second. Braden Carlson in third. Jack Peterson in fourth. Alex Jaspers was in fifth. Josh Betts in sixth. Seventh will be Nathan Sides. Nick Terrell in eighth. Alan Gullison in ninth. Josh Anderson in 10th. And then 11th will be Dane Simpson. William Burrell in 12th. John Crane in 13th. Herbert Pineda in 14th. James Molyneux in 15th. Nick Nickerson in 16th. Bronson Stafford in 17th. Robert Kinney in 18th. 19th will be Matthew Rodriguez. And 20th will be William Harvin. So from everyone here at Core, we appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we will catch you next season.
The engines roar, the grid's alive. Under the lights, we start to drive. McLaren's lead cutting through the air. Porsche chasing close with a power so rare. Audi's growl, a beast unleashed. The Lamborghini's roar, the grip